Andy, first of all, can you give us any indication as to what's happening with the manager's position, including your own position?
No is the simple answer. Things are just the same as they were last week. We just carry on and prepare the team for the next game. So that's about as much as I can tell you, Brian, to be honest.
Has anybody spoken to you about potentially yourself coming in? Because there's been a lot of speculation this week about who's been spoken to and not, but your name hasn't been linked to it.
No, as I say, I've had no further information than I had last week. So as I say, myself and Alec have just been trying to get the team in the right place and prepare for the game. That's as much as I can tell you. I'm being honest on that.
How difficult is that, being in a bit of flux then, in terms of not knowing what's going to happen?
This whole situation at the minute is unknown because obviously the club are looking for a new manager, but the team, the players and the pitch need guidance and an organisation. So, while that's the case and while me and Alec are in charge of it, then we have to do the best job we can and be as professional as we can to sort of leave, if that's the case, the new manager in a good place.
I've known you a long time and you love football, Andy. What is it about football managing that it gives you this bug that you want to do it? Because there's Stephen Naismith this week out of a job, Craig out of a job. It tends to be that you're in a position for a year and a half, and then you get moved on.
I guess it's just something that's, I don't know, it's something that's inside you. It's football's all I've ever known. And I made a choice when I finished playing. I wanted to go into coaching, and quickly after that I knew that I wanted to have a go at the management side of it. And I've been fortunate enough to be in a number of positions throughout the game, from development coach to first team coach to manager at Brecon City, the assistant manager obviously St Johnstone. So I've had a lot of experience in that game, and I think when you commit to being in those roles, you know that comes along with a little bit of uncertainty at times, and the way football is at this moment in time, if you lose a number of games, you're under pressure. But I think if you make that conscious decision that you accept that, then you can give everything to the job. And as you said earlier, I love the game. I want to be in the game as long as I can. I want to try and have a career, whatever shape that takes me. So yeah, it is a volatile industry. But as I say, if you love the game and you're committed to it, then you can accept those things.
Given that experience you have, do you feel you're ready to be your own man at a Premiership club?
I feel like I'm capable of working at this level of football, absolutely. I had a taste of it at Hearts with under Daniel Stendhal. I've managed for 2.5 seasons at Brecon City, where we won a league title. So I've had experience in that side of it, and obviously the last 11 months here working with the first team group, obviously with St Johnstone. So again, there's a lot of experience there that I've gained throughout the time, and how you deal with people, how you build relationships. All these things are important. But absolutely, I believe I'm very, very capable of working at this level. Tell
us then how you're preparing the team then for a very, very difficult game on Saturday.
A very difficult game.
Yeah.
It's just we've got to look at a lot of stuff that we do out of possession, because we know Celtic are going to have a lot of the ball. We know how good they are. You say we've watched numerous games, but I watched the European game last week, and I thought they were sensational at times. They've really, really top class players. They play at a tempo, they move the ball, they run off the ball, so they cause a lot of problems. And I think for us, we've got to be organised defensively, but we've got to be aware and we've got to communicate well and see how long we can stay in the game, and hopefully if we get opportunities to break up the pitch, then we can be good in that front as well, and hopefully try and impose ourselves on the game if we get the opportunities to do that. But first and foremost, we've got to be set up properly to give ourselves a chance in the game.
And finally for me then, Brendan Rodgers, his team are playing fantastic football. Is this a challenge tactically for you to try and work out a formation, a style of playing to stop Celtic being as good as they have been this season?
Yeah, I think you can look at a number of things in other teams and how they've set up against them, and what we've done previously. We've also got to look at the players we have and what we're capable of doing. Celtic are quite fluid in terms of how they play. The full-backs are inside, they're outside, they run beyond the front line. So there's a lot of movement in that. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it's just about trying to make sure that structurally wise underneath the ball we're good and we don't give an awful lot of spaces up. and then if we can win the ball at that point, can we counter and get up the pitch and see where we can get to with that. But first and foremost is about keeping our structure right, and making sure that we frustrate Celtic and we can give ourselves a chance to get into the game. It's like if you step out and you give up spaces, and you're going to be in trouble.
Andy, have you spoken to Adam Webb and said to him that you would like to be considered for the role permanently? I've
had a conversation with Adam last week, just regards to the situation that we're in, but not in terms of my own position. I think I've got to respect the club's view and the job that they have to do, what they're looking for, and and let them deal with that process. As I say, if it comes around to a conversation with myself, then that's something I would consider. But at this minute in time, my job is to try and help the players, myself, and I like to make sure we try and do the best we can for the group, and then see where that takes us.
And you said you feel you're capable of managing at this level. Do you feel this is the right time for you as well?
Listen, the right time, the wrong time. This when the opportunity presents itself. That's the thing, and at that point you just got to look at the situation you're in and decide if you think it's right for you or not. But as I say, we'll be as professional as we can. We let the club deal with the other process that's going on off the pitch, and then we'll see where it goes.
And have you been told that you will be in charge and in the dugout on Saturday?
I believe so. I've not had an awful lot of information this week, but this is Thursday and we're preparing all week to get the team ready. So I would believe that I'll be in the dugout on Saturday.
How has it been sort of dealing with the players? Because obviously it's quite an unsettling time for them, not knowing what's happening, and there's a lot of talk obviously in the background. But how have you sort of shielded them from that and made sure they focus on what is a massive game at the weekend?
We just get on the training pitch and we fully focus. We look at reflect on the game, and we look at it on the video, the Ross County game, things that we could do better, and then ultimately straight away we get on the Celtic. But just keeping the players focused on the pitch. Here's what we're looking for. Here's how we're going to try and play, and just getting everyone fully focused on that. Just our attention has to be on that. It's a big game for us, so I think those things help.
And how many positives do you take out of last weekend? But obviously, disappointment as well, to lose the goals late on. That must have been quite frustrating.
It was frustrating, yeah, because as I said at the time, it feels like defeat because you're 3-1 up. And it was hard for the players after the game. We spoke in the changing rooms, they spoke a lot. And it was just, again, it's the same things that cost us the 3 points. But just being later on in the game, you expect if we can see this out, we'd have came away with the 3 points, which would have been huge for morale. But I think the players understand that there has been improvement in the group this year. We have played a lot better football. Away from home, we score 3 goals. You should, at that point, really win the game. The positives that we always have to look at is, we had good moments in the game. We go 3-1 up, we score 3 goals away from home. But sometimes the way it finishes, that the negatives can feel that it outweighs that. But yeah, it's there is improvement in the squad. They're a good group. They work hard every day. They give everything they have on the training pitch, and they're honest and they want to improve. So that's a great thing to have with a group.
And what's your team news going into the game?
We're just obviously missing Benji and Adama through suspension still, but everyone else is looking good.
Andy, you've obviously voiced your displeasure, and rightly so, at the number of set-piece goals that you're conceding. How important is it against the best team in the country this weekend to ensure there's no margin for error there?
Listen, against any opposition, set pieces can be massive. It could be one set play that wins you or loses you the game. So, unfortunately, over the last few weeks, we've conceded some poor set plays, and it comes down to decision making. And if you have a responsibility to pick a player up, then but if you look at every set play in the game, there'll always be a mistake if another team scores. But we've worked on the pitch last week. We'll work again this week on certain details of it. But every aspect of the game, you're playing the best team in the country at this moment in time. We've got to be really on our game. And
if you can get a result against the champions, against the league leaders, I mean, that could really kind of launch your season, couldn't it?
Yeah, it's a game. If we could manage to get something out of, would be fantastic. But again, we had a point last week away from home, which is a difficult place for Ross County to go at any stage in the season. So if we can be at the top of our game and we can manage to get something on Saturday, then that would be fantastic for the club and another step in hopefully the right direction to turning things around.
Thank you.